if we had just done the same logic last week, we would have bet Justin Rose. Like, hey, here's the number 10 player in the world who is 25th on the betting board. Why don't we bet that guy? This is the same thing with Struck. Struck is what, 12th in the world? And he's 58th on the betting board somehow?
Yeah, your whole conversation makes me think like if I like Sahith, then like Chris Gotterup at 50 is probably like a much better bet.
Play. That's where I'm getting at with the Sahith number. That if it was back here and like Sahith is behind Michael Kim in the world rankings. My guy, Michael Kim. He's fine, coming off his back injury. He's 100-1. Like, that's realistically where Sahith should be. But he has 2 pretty good weeks in a row. One of them is a real backdoor charge on a Sunday. Not to say that Cooties wasn't either. It was. But all of a sudden, like, I'll cut his odds in half. It's fine.
Pat Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience 2026 WM Phoenix Open. Geoff Fienberg on the line. We're going to be making some picks, some one and done, breaking down last week. Talking about LIV. LIV starts this week, Geoff. You excited?
I mean, I thought we'd talk about it. So I wouldn't say I'm excited. But, you know, there's guys there I'd like to see what they're up to early in the calendar.
It's something we can bet on. So, although when I woke up this morning to check the odds, they were still filtering through Phoenix on a Monday morning, but the LIV Riyadh? Is that either way? It's nighttime golf. Don't forget about that. But it was first on the betting board, like when I opened it up, because I guess it was like the biggest event going on that they actually had odds for that had been up for some time. And I started to think, like, this would be a much better allocation of LIV's money. Pay all the sports books to put them first on the golf tab, and then maybe more people would pay attention to it.
Well, then more people would know that it's on.
Yeah.
Or like know that it's happening, especially like the week of event. They should, I guess, pay the piper. Although the PGA has partnerships with some of these sports books too, which probably have an exponentially bigger handle. So that is, the decision that I guess these sports books would need to wait. But I was with some people yesterday for dinner, and they're not like LIV haters. They they're easy to make the low-hanging fruit jokes, but there's guys there they absolutely want to see, and they're like, I'd pay attention, but I just like don't know where or when they're on. And 3 years later, that is kind of still a problem. And as we'll give the PGA a hard time in the dog days of summer for like always being on. That is their like North Star. Is there like your dog on the weekend? Like they're always there for you, the PGA Tour. On one of 2 or 3 channels, you'll know exactly how to find it.
Unfortunately, they were there this weekend, and Justin Rose won by a touchdown. It made it a very Scottie Scheffler-esque, like, hey, this Sunday isn't like super compelling. Although Rose was awesome. He's up to the number 3 player in the world. His life turned around. He had that Masters defeat. Then he kind of went into hibernation. He stayed in the room next to me at TPC Southwind last year when I was in Memphis. He won that event. He's won again. Meeting me turned his life around.
I would say me and him like squashing our beef and having a great moment at the Canadian Open. Might have been that, Pat. But listen, I'm going to speak hyperbolically right now, as I often do on a Monday. Since like LIV started, the concept began. Is there any player whose legacy improved more than Justin Rose? I mean, the greatest winners from LIV Golf at the moment are Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed. And anyone
Bryson,
who, I guess, took the money and is going to pay like no penalty to come back, it's hard to argue you didn't win. But in terms of like golfing legacy and his whole like essentially all his peers, sort of did it. And he just stayed in this grind, 45 years old. What the heck, man? Legend.
Better at driving now than he's ever been in his life.
Justin Rose, no one benefits more from his trips to Carlsbad and getting his like bag tuned up at the, not in a trailer, but at like, the kingdoms they have down there for all the manufacturers. Oh my God. Because he tinkered with the bag again this week. And look at him. Holy geez. What a marvelous performance on a big boy golf course. Like, it's one of those weeks I didn't watch a lot on the weekend because it was, sort of anticlimactic in that sense. But to see the scoring And to know that I was never going to pick him, shout out to our boy Stephen Hennessy for putting that one in your guys' column over at GD. And I was never going to pick him. I didn't. I looked right through him. Full disclosure. Even you might have brought him up last week. I was like, not for me.
Well, he wasn't for me either. I brought him up to Keith on the Wednesday show, just trying to be like, hey, like, are we overlooking it? So if everyone's just in on Jason Day, like Rose is the better player and he's double the odds. But that was the extent of it. I wasn't going to get there on him either. Ron Kloss at Betsports Golf, also another winner of Justin Rose. So there, some people are making money. I, for the second consecutive week, had a guy with no chance to win come in second place. That's always fun when you're like, oh yeah, I got back-to-back runner-ups.
I'm not this guy to bet. I mean, listen, we'll get the without markets this week. We'll talk about them. I'm certain of it. But when it's like Sunday, I don't pay much attention to like you can bet who essentially is going to come second place. It would have been a fun without Justin Rose. There it would have been a classic Torrey Pines, dogfight finish.
Oh, yeah. It's funny to see the names, too. Probably not the guys that you'd expect. Like my main man, Pearson Coody, ended up coming in second, so he did not cash his 66-1. He cashed $0 on that. Siwoo ends up coming in second as well, a week after blowing it in the final group. Great, weirdly consistent start to the season for Siwoo. Hisatune, who the broadcast could not stop talking about, like, the ball speed this guy has. It's not like he was driving the ball like 350 yards. He was last in that group in driving distance and consistently being outdriven by Justin Rose by 20 yards. It was just weird. Weird commentary. He does give it a mighty lash. I'll give him that, but that's really about it.
I'm not like a combat sports guy, but it's already like January and you see people being like, fight of the year. And I'm not saying this like tournament of the year, but I don't like this is going to be one of the most impressive wins of the entire year. Full stop.
I would agree. Very outside of Scottie. Like, dude, this is very much in tune with what happened at this tournament last year when Dietrich just pummeled everyone.
Yeah. So unbelievable. Like, just, oh my God. What a guy. This Justin Rose.
He laid the smackdown on number 6 because he was able to get it into the fairway and he stepped up. I believe it was a 3-iron, maybe it was a 4-iron, going for the green in 2, and he put it to about 8 feet. He ended up missing the putt, but it was like, this is over. No one is sniffing a chance to come back if this is how he's ball striking at the moment. And Farmers put those pins on Sunday in the most scoreable locations possible to try to generate some low scores to see if anyone could go get at him. Part of the problem with doing that is that the guy in first place has to absolutely suck that day. It needs to be a combination of both. And he just played good enough. He was already up by enough. But that's why you saw so many low scores on Sunday.
I've seen plenty of guys go up by big numbers and, at some point it doesn't become stress-free. This was full-on stress-free. What was his lead Friday night?
It was 4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5, yeah, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
It was him and Seamus Power who stayed at exactly where he was at the rest of the tournament because he lost like 5 strokes on approach.
Wow.
Yeah. But you got some like Jake Knapp was in the mix. Steven Jaeger was in the mix. All our Mexico Open guys played pretty well. It
felt very international, like the top 10. Maybe I'm making that up.
We had Coody, Knapp, Novak, Sahith, Damon, McNeely all inside the top 10. It was like Jaeger, Siwoo, Rose, and Hisatune were the 4 internationals who were inside the top 10. Even Keith Mitchell made like a huge run. He did Jared from the middle of the fairway at one point, the most nonchalant thing I've ever seen. If you have a chance to go back and check out Michael Thorbjornsen's Eagle on number 9, it's one of the best bunker shots I've ever seen. It's incredible.
Yeah, am I going to get a win with him at 60-1 in like a big field, or am I going to not win when he wins at like 17-1 in the shits? So,
well, I think that you can take a look at the guys that did well this week and start extrapolating that out. Not the guys that won, because obviously like Rose can kind of compete everywhere. We've seen the same thing with Siwoo. But I mentioned this in the write-up for Torrey Pines, so just keep this in the back of your mind that there's a collection of courses. And this week might actually be included in that as well, but you have a really good field this week, so it's not so much. Now, Mexico during the swing season now, because it's not in 3 weeks' time like it has been for the past few years. The Bunny Ranch, Houston, Rocket Mortgage are all courses where the mid-tier guys end up becoming the better guys in those fields that I would continue to take a look at them. Like, and we saw Jake Knapp do this almost exact same thing 3 years ago. Then he went and won in Phoenix. Even PGA National is probably another good look because that's become such a driver-heavy course that these would be the types of players that I'd be looking at. You know, the Shanks, Hao Tong, Thorbjornsen, Nikolai
I saw
Højgaard.
Gannon mention PGA National as a comp course, and I didn't know if we'd spoken about that before, but I mean, obviously a lot of corollary success, I feel.
Well, it is because they're both non-elevated events. Like you saw the cream kind of rise here, and even some of the higher brand players. I think 4 of the top 5 guys on the odds board ended up missing the cut this week at Torrey Pines. Like, it's a harder course overall. Like, if you just avoid the water at PGA National, you can score pretty easily. It's just an easy, although this tournament ended up playing super easy by the end of it, but just the field strength itself is going to be so low that these guys that do well at all these driver heavy courses and bash their driver as well as possible, like you might see in Phoenix this week too, that they would be the guys that would be wanting to look at. I already have a ton of bets in this.
I had one bet from like 2 weeks ago.
Who was it?
Sahith.
Oh, well, you got CLV. So when Scottie wins by 8, you can win with your CLV.
Yeah, the problem is they only let me, I was actually surprised how much they let me bet, but even that was still only like $27 maybe.
More
so I might have to grease it up at these like real short numbers if I do truly fall in love with him this week.
What's the more likely outcome here? Justin Rose being the most bet on guy at the Masters and misses the cut, or Sahith being the most bet on guy this week and misses the cut?
Yeah, definitely Sahith. The Masters is hilarious. Like a joke. Like right now, it's just like, obviously I'm joking, but it's like, okay, I guess it's Scottie versus Rose versus Reed for the Masters, like based on how Rose and Reed's numbers, all it takes for a little crater is to show life in Jan, but you're ready to roll. I'm so impressed. I'm floored by Justin Rose. What a fucking king that guy is.
You've really come a long way with Justin Rose. I got to give
you
credit.
He had his try hard era in like the late teens. But yeah, I don't know. Like you had your interaction in the hallway. He's just such a first-class gentleman. Jesus Christ. He took a hold of my hand and I've never turned back.
Gotta ask you, what's up with your boy Ludwig?
I don't know. He's still I guess that you call it like that you fade him off the tummy ache, it'd be dangerous. But maybe he's just right now in his young career-ish, he's still like gonna have his spike weeks and his not weeks.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of consistency. I mean, this one was particularly troubling. Following with WD was like the worst guy in the field.
Yeah, and it seemed like a lot of guys at the very top didn't play well.
Yeah, but there's levels of not playing well. Like Spawn ended up missing, I think, by 2. He rallied after a tough day at the South. Xander kind of did the same thing. Like, they didn't miss the cut by much. They played okay. Xander was bad.
I mean, maybe he's hurt. Maybe he's still sick.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it's not like he was playing horrible previous.
I guess. Yeah, he came 3rd at the DP World Tour Championship, so I guess that's something.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like it's just like when you open up his like CV recently, like it's like, oh my God, it's like it hasn't been there for a while. So I don't know. I feel like he's got enough equity with me that I'm sure this will be like a short blip, and maybe he's just a young guy, really fucking rich. He enjoyed Christmas. Got to get that engine revved up, So April is around the corner, but there's plenty of time. But I don't know if it's serious. That would suck. Like to get a report on the internet that like something's actually a problem. He's gonna, have to rehab or do something. That'd be horrible. Hopefully, he just ate bad Chipotle.
That could be the case. Who knows? That's one of the bad things. I spoke with Michael Kim. He told me his back is fine. He WD'd last week. And like as a good man before the tournament, unlike Aaron Rye, who WD'd 4 minutes after lock. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, Michael knows. Michael knows how to do it. He knows what's up. Michael reads he reads his messages, so he knew proper etiquette.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy who's attacked online for that kind of thing. Other stories from the weekend, Pat Mayo and this show, Geoff, nominated for 3 Fantasy Sports Writer Association Award, Golf Writer of the Year. Pat Mayo going head-to-head with our guy Blickle.
Blickle and Spence
And
on that
Spence.
also? Who else was on that?
Yeah, it was me, Spencer, and Blickle. This is my...
That's a top shelf. That is it's a lot of good work there.
Yeah, it's funny because the first time I met Blickle was when I had all 3 of the other 2 nominees on the show a few years ago. It was him, me, and Byron were the 3, and that's when I first met the both of them. And look at it now. Everyone's just popping up on the shows.
Yeah.
Podcast of the year, so thank you, and thank you for everyone who tunes in. And something else, I forget what it is. Oh, short video of the year with me in Memphis making bets on Victor Hovland and losing.
Short video. Hey, awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. I am giving away to celebrate. I'm giving away, and it's Super Bowl week too, $250 cash to one of you if you rate and review the Pat Mayo Experience and subscribe on Apple or Spotify. You get yourself into the draw. Do both. You get 2 ballots. You sub to this YouTube channel. You get a ballot. You sub to the free newsletter, which I sent out on Sunday evening. Geoff, did it hit your inbox on Sunday evening?
I haven't. Yes, it did.
You have not checked your email, have you?
Well, it definitely hit my inbox. I see it right here. It came 8:29.
There you go. I was thinking about getting it out a little bit earlier. I think that people might enjoy reading something like that on a Sunday night. Although I don't want to hold myself to that standard in case I don't have it done.
Yeah, that's the monster of it, right? If you do something too many times, then as someone who makes content, consumes content, like it's weird the importance of like sticking on your schedule. But early can't hurt. No,
I think early is helpful, and I think that more people enjoy it that way. They can get themselves prepped, and it gets me prepped for everything. Like the research, the shows, the podcasts, and videos will always come out at the same time. Like we are doing our Super Bowl picks tonight. So me, you, and Cust, and Judge Cust, MayoMediaInc@gmail.com. If you want to get, we have like, I went and looked at the inbox today. We have like 87 Judge Cust emails now.
Holy shit.
People need Cust to weigh in on things.
Yeah, fair enough. On that note, Pat, let's just have this conversation amongst ourselves.
Okay.
Because we had it briefly last week with Tim. And I would say, I don't know about you, but I don't know what could have happened. Like I don't want to have a bad thought, so I don't want to say a bad thought. But like I got more by that being like a player I really like getting hurt or something like really bad happening for the Chargers. The carrier pigeons out in like beyond full force. This goddamn indoor golf thing in Chicago or like an hour and a half outside of Chicago. I think I might have gotten more messages about that and how, we're going to be bending the knee to Tim than anything I've ever been carrier pigeoned.
It's crazy. App. Yeah. But the weird thing is that people seem to think that this isn't like an AI rendering of what it could be. Everyone I've talked to from that golf show are like 0 chance this ever happens.
And okay, fine. And even the rendering, like I said to Tim on last week's football show, even the rendering is enough for him to like stand up and like wave to the crowd. But yeah, it's not even like a model. It's the artwork.
Yeah. Like we should just start making some. I will go into ChatGPT, get it to design me a video. Maybe I'll use Claude, my bot assistant, to rig one up for me, and then I'll just start taking victory laps on things that don't exist. But here's the biggest part of it. And I'm gonna get the clip and I'm gonna rerun it maybe tonight, maybe next week when we finish off our year end of football. We had this discussion about his ridiculous indoor golf course, and I told him, it's like, hey, why don't you just do a par 3 executive course? Maybe that could be feasible. You know what he said to that?
like unacceptable.
Unacceptable was the answer to that. So I told him what could be possible, not his underground bunker, full 18 hole. Just the fact that it's all par threes, he now has moved the goalpost that this is what he said, when he in fact deemed it was unacceptable.
Did he then go to dinner and tell everyone that you agreed with him?
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
There you go. Fucking rat.
Listen,
he's been doing that to people, by the way. He did it to poor Jared, and people are like, what's going on with Jared? He's like, oh yeah, Jared agrees with me on all of this stuff. He's basically just pulling a Trump. Yeah, everyone agrees with me.
He's essentially like Dove Kleiman. He'll like aggregate like eight words you say and clip it with zero context and hold you on it.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve any credit. I'm just saying, like, shout out to the audience. That was like, yeah, everyone wants Tim to get his credit. And as someone that lives in a very cold climate, I don't know. I mean, I guess it seems more possible just because like people with potentially a lot of money are thinking about it.
Yeah, listen, I don't think that look, I think it's a terrible idea because I still don't understand how they make any money off of this. That's why I don't think that it actually happens. If it costs like 50 million seems low to me, but I'm not in construction. I don't know. And as you mentioned, it's 40 minutes outside of Chicago. So it's either in, I'll ask Noonan when Noonan's on the show and Connor's on the show later on this week, like where it's actually situated. Like, is it in a suburb? Is it in the middle of nowhere?
Lots of people drive to golf. Like, at
sure,
least
but for a par 3 executive course that's indoors at a $50 million just to build, let's say that's real, and it's $50 million to build. What is the upkeep of this thing?
And then what happens?
Like, what do you charge?
Does the dome drop, or that would be like bad for the grass to actually be?
I don't know. Why would anyone want to play that in the middle of summer?
I don't. Yeah, I guess.
So you can drive 45 minutes each way from wherever, and it's probably such an attraction.
A lot of golfers are like crack addicts.
I get that, Jeff, but it's a 9-hole par 3 that's going to cost you like $300 a round.
So you'll.
Okay, like, well, yeah. It's not like they're charging $20,
and you're not going to want to pay the same thing as you pay to play like the amazing 5-star course.
Yeah, you could wait till the summer, save your money, and play Medina a bunch of times, or you can go play this par 3 course for like, unless they make it $40, which at that point I don't understand how it's a business.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Especially with like the cost to build anything these days, it seems. I don't know. I'm just saying. It almost is like an affirmation of how many people like follow, stay engaged with the show, that, they all wanted to make sure we are bending our knees to Tim on this.
I'm not. If it gets constructed, and I want to, I will give him a lot of credit. If
it gets constructed, it'll probably be at the time you're going to retire, and we'll do our last ever farewell from there.
From there, we'll do the last Custies from the indoor golf stadium.
Yeah. Over. I'll win the Lifetime Achievement Award. He'll take his final bow. It'll be the last. And then, never again.
I just start to think it's no different than the mocktail bar that he talked about, which did open, and he was right. And then it immediately went out of business because no one went, because it's a terrible idea. Unless you live in some large population center that, like, somewhere like Brooklyn, or hell, even if it's like a university town like Austin, something like that. It can sustain something like that. But overall, like in your just generic place, people still like to drink, and the people who don't like to drink just aren't going to go out to go to a $20 mocktail per mocktail bar. It's just not going to sustain itself. So it went out of business. I would be curious to know how long this stays in business. If it ever gets constructed, if it ever does open. As I said, $50 million down in order to build it. The maintenance costs have to be $50 million a year in order to run it. I don't think anyone wants to go during the summertime. Like, I just don't understand how it's feasible to be a real business. It just seems like someone thought that they had a cool, maybe if they're mining Cust for ideas, like they typed it into Chat GPT, like, hey, what would be a cool indoor golf course? And like somehow it aggregated our show, and they saw Tim's idea and they were like, man, that's a great idea. Let's do a rendering.
But I haven't looked into it that, I looked at the renderings. I was impressed. I didn't like read anything on it, but like, do the people who've made the renderings actually like own the land they say it's on?
I have no idea. I've seen the same thing. Like 500 people sent me Instagram DMs about it. It's like, I've seen it. Like we talked about it on the show and then people sent it to us.
Yeah, that's but I thought, some of them not like a crossover. Well, whatever. Yeah, we mentioned it on last week's golf show. We gave Tim like essentially credit for hitting a single when he wants like credit for a grand slam right now, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Although he has started to move back of that because I sent him the transcript of us talking about it where he clearly says this is not what he wants.
Yes, but if this can be built, then it's a step closer to his vision, which I'd give him an absolute win on.
Sure, but what if it goes? What if they build this and because like Topgolf can't stay in business right now, and this is far more. It's going to be better than Topgolf, but it's also far more expensive than Topgolf, and it's not casual. Like I would guess only serious
because like you've done it and it's kind of boring, and the upkeep of the Topgolfs haven't been great. But this is like I sort of see what you're saying, and maybe this sort of has like. I'm there one time for business. I did it. I like never really care to do it again. After you've done it twice or something. But I don't think it's the same because this is you like actually playing golf.
I just think that the costs are going to be unreasonable to play it, would be my guess. And
Yeah,
if they're not,
to
then
get a pod at Topgolf is a fortune. So this would be, obviously, but I don't know. Golf people pay above what normal people think they should pay for like golf things, even as silly as Topgolf.
Like, put it this way: if it was something that I was going to go to all the time, and I have no idea like what a membership costs here, I would rather just buy a simulator and put it in my house.
Okay, that's also a fair point. Like, by the time this thing is built, Simitech, which is already getting like much cheaper, could be at a point where it's like a PlayStation, and you can get an incredible simulator for, I don't want to say nothing, but home computer cheaper prices.
100%. And it'll be more expensive, but then it will be yours, and it'll be in your house, and you can hit a driver on it. You don't just show up with a 60-degree wedge and play.
Listen, all things. I didn't. I don't know if there's any other housekeeping. Patrick Reed. That looks sort of.
Oh yeah, no. Jared has a question.
Just to chime in, would you in the summer? Obviously, you said probably wouldn't make as much money. Obviously, raining, I guess people would go.
Sure.
But if you could not get a tee time at your course, would you play indoor golf in the summer?
No, I just played a there's
different
like
course,
other.
different
I
course,
would
yeah.
if I couldn't get a tee time at any outdoor course in the city, and I like absolutely needed to play golf and just didn't want to play tomorrow because it was the summer. Then yes,
Okay.
but like no, I don't think that would ever. No, that's the hottest day ever, and it's like AC, and maybe it's fun, and I like it there. I guess.
I would unless it's like some sort of like super gimmick, like it would be fun. Like as I said, it'd be fun to go do once. I couldn't see myself going to repeated things on it. Like if I couldn't play during that day, I would go to a simulator and practice.
But like your first option, if like your favorite course isn't available, is to just check your second or third or like the dump muni before you'd go there. I think in the actual summer,
100%. But if like literally nothing was available, I'd probably just not play golf that day. That would be okay too. Or I would go to a simulator.
Yep.
So, you see the Michael Brennan DQ?
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it like. It's I see weird things in golf. I don't know what.
I made the mention on the research show that Brennan's not excuse, like he called the DQ on himself, was sort of with the old Chappelle, like Chip killing him softly. She's like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Where he was just making notes in the green book because he just hired a data guy. So the data guy's giving him notes and he just like jotted stuff down in his green book. He didn't realize you couldn't do it. But the penalty's really...
No?
I believe him too. I mean, I see no reason not to believe him on this. Like, it would make a ton of sense. A guy who didn't even play Korn Ferry Tour got promoted from PGA Americas to the PGA Tour all within the span of like 2 weeks. And now your life is completely changing. That's something in the rule book you just might overlook. He calls the penalty on himself. And Michael Kim even pointed out in his Twitter threads, like, if he had just said nothing, no one would have caught him. But he did say it.
I just yeah, it seems hyper innocent, and I guess it's something you just got to be very aware of as he's going to a lot of courses he's never played before, where you just want like an extra note. But I don't know. So you just have to like memorize what you're like. Can your caddy make like between you and your caddy, you got to sort of remember certain things, right? That's part of it.
Yeah, that's part of the game. And it's funny because it wasn't even about reading the greens, he said. It was about his approach shots of like getting to the hole, like where you want to land it on the green so it could filter certain ways. And he was just like didn't make any mental notes. He just wrote it down and just had that book with him.
And I feel like we know a couple people who, provide these services to the PGA Tour players. And at least they seem like very like hyper honorable guys. And yeah, you let them know when the rule's been broken.
Yeah, for sure. And the rule is really weird because if you do it once, it's just a warning. But if you do it twice, it's a DQ. That happens hole by hole. So once you play 2 holes, you are now DQ'd.
Once you play 2 holes, so you could play 1 hole and take a smaller penalty?
It's not, I don't even think I don't know if it's a penalty or not. It might just be a warning. But I don't have all the information on this. I just saw that it was if you do it more than once. Like once is a warning, 2 is a DQ.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. It's sort of like a bit of I did see it. I can't imagine there's any like actual controversy to it. It's just a funny golf thing.
Do you want to talk about controversy? Because I've seen some, let's call it rumors, maybe some conspiracy theories about what happened in the LPGA.
Oh, yeah. So that kind of caught my eye. Even my mom was messaging me about that because I guess she's on the internet more these days.
Yeah. So what happened was they had played 3 rounds of the Tournament of Champions down in Florida. Obviously, everywhere got hit with ice or whatever it might be. And the leaders who were playing on that Saturday, they basically didn't call the tournament quick enough because the leaders got absolutely punished for still being on the course. Nelly ends up in the lead after shooting like -8 from way earlier in the day. And then they just cancel Sunday because it's too cold. But the celebrity tournament that the tournament still had going on played. Annika Sorenstam was playing in. It was like, it's fine. They could have played.
Yeah, so really embarrassing and a lot of bad PR surrounding it. But I just don't understand the logistics of how it happens.
What do you mean?
Like, the pros can't play, but the celebrities can play. There's celebrities who are obviously some ex-pros like Annika, and like how they're already playing. Like, how did they not see that this thing could just be played?
I don't know. It seems like they just wanted Nelly to get her first win in a year.
But that also seems like really strange. I don't think what Nelly's like the mark you have Nelly at changes because she wins like the Century Tournament of Champions. I don't think anyone she came in 25th place. Like it's not fluctuating with this win or a bad performance.
I tend to agree. I just saw that being floated out as like, why else would they do this? And I was like, I don't know why they wouldn't do this. It seems kind of strange. And
the fact that like Nelly playing a final round as a leader would have been the thing they would want the most. So why, even if she played horribly?
I would agree. And I guess when they went to the course, the ground was frozen. It's just later on, like 3 hours later, it was fine again.
Yeah, and I guess at that point, everyone's like going home. They've gone home.
Here's the thing. Endurance athletes never talk about this, but heavy lifting and training can quietly wreck sexual performance. Long cardio, high cholesterol, bad sleep, under recovery, it all hits the same systems that control blood flow and hormones, and when circulation drops, performance drops everywhere. Most guys reach for stimulants or prescriptions, but that's a blunt fix way downstream. Nitric oxide is the master switch for blood flow, endurance, and longevity. Once you understand that, joy mode makes total sense. If you want to support sexual performance the same way you should support training and recovery naturally and intelligently, Joy Mode has got a deal for my listeners. Go to tryjoymode.com/mayo or enter mayo at checkout for 20% off. Joy Mode, the electrolyte packet for your dick. Underdog's expanding the game. You already know their player picks. Pick higher or lower on player stats. Today, Underdog prediction markets are live in 25 states. Back your squad with spreads, handicap for closer game, or totals, higher lower combined score, combined with player picks for bigger payouts. New customers play $5 on fantasy, get $75 in fantasy bonus entries. Code Mayo. Team picks, player picks, all on Underdog. Cash App just released a new status program for the way that people actually spend Cash App Green. It unlocks new ways for you to pay, get rewarded, and easily grow or manage your money on your terms. Now, when you spend at least $500 a month with the Cash App or Cash App Pay, you earn green status, which unlocks benefits like up to $200 of free overdraft coverage, higher borrow limits, and custom personalized cashback offers every Friday at places you love to shop. Turn everyday spending into status with Cash App Green. Download Cash App today or visit cash.app/new to learn more about this and other great features launching now. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code CASHAPP10 in their profile at signup and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank. Member FDIC. Cash App Green overdraft coverage borrow. Cashback offers and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. There is one other thing to look at. Did you see this Bryson quote?
Nope.
So Bryson commented on LIV Golf going to 72 holes and said that the changes are not initially what he signed up for, Jeff. We'll see what happens, was his quote. After playing out the season, DeChambeau told the Today's Golfer. Here's his full quote. It's definitely changed away from what we had initially been told what it was going to be. So there's some movement that we've all been, really weird statement, I would say, interested in and going. Why the movement? Because we were told it was going to be this. So it definitely made us have some different thoughts about it. I've got a contract for this year and we'll go through it there and see what happens after that. Look, it's 72 holes, it's changed, but we're still excited to play professionally and play for what we're doing and go across the world. I think it's going to be great for our team. Is it what we initially signed up for? No. So I think we're supposed to be different. So I'm a little indifferent to that right now. Hopefully it weighs positively on me over the course of time, but you never know. I'm not sure. We didn't sign up to play for 72 holes.
That was really weird. This is just like the part of, with all due respect, like the part of the spectrum.
Part of
the just say the weirdest, like I get it, like in his mind, as someone who's like very regimented, it sounds like something like Sheldon Cooper would say. He's a genius, but like, no, you said 54 holes.
Well, I think it's more of a negotiation tactic. Like,
sure,
he very clearly brought up, hey, this is my final year of my contract. He's actively in negotiations with LIV. If he starts to say like, maybe I don't like this, like, you give him another $1 billion.
Sure, yeah. If I've got to play 72 holes, I may as well play 72 holes there. Because this works out to a whole extra. What they play, like 12 events. This works out to a whole extra 12 days of not making YouTube content.
Your buddy, YouTube content.
Oh my God. I want, what? Like, firstly, because Jared is relatively new here. So, like, I think he's a fair and balanced person to know, because he's, newer to me and, my temperaments. Like, when I think, people are like, he's a new rival. Like, no, I have no ill will towards like Grant Horvat at all, like whatsoever. If I did, like, I would have like a lot more like vile things to say. The meanest thing I say, it's like, it's not for me. That'd be like saying I don't like relish, right? Like if I don't like relish, and then there'd be like a relish cult like after me. Or if I said, you know what, like I don't want to watch a guy who plays single A baseball is like too good at baseball. I'm just not entertained by watching him toss. I don't know. That's it. I've experienced Tuanon, and that shit was real. And I will die on the hill that Tuanon was real. He's got one. He is his own. He's got his own cult. Do you know? I would have to like give something away, like an autographed helmet, to get that many comments on a tweet. And the thing about Twitter now is, which is really kind of annoying, you don't see all the comments, like not even just the mean ones. You don't see all of them. It seems like you have to be following the person, or the person has to be following you for you to see when they're commenting. Like I get, like some of the comments I get, they keep away because, you know, you look in on the back end, like, oh, I could see why they didn't let me see that comment. Holy shit. But there's also a lot of people who like my tweet, like very much resonated with and was like, you're right. I totally agree. And he's polarizing. And I take nothing like credit to Grant Horvat. He's made an incredible YouTube channel. He might make more money than some pro golfers. That's awesome.
I'm certain that he does. Like,
Yeah,
he
like,
probably makes more money
like,
than Joel Damon.
And I always say, and I followed up that tweet by saying, like, golf is beautiful in that you can choose your own adventure in how you both experience it when you're not playing, or like how the content, or how you participate in it. Right? There's all different ways, and I encourage like anyone to play. But I don't even know how so many people who don't even follow me got a hold of me saying like Grant Horvat is in this zone that like just it's too good. I've said it before. It's just too good. I don't need to watch scratch golfers golf. I'd rather watch pro golfers or the lottery of like a 14 handicap shot. That feels like a slot machine. There's entertainment about that.
See, that's why we're doing YouTube golf this summer. We get you and Cust out on the course, and people are like, oh my God.
And don't get me wrong, like Portnoy and the Internet Invitational, that was amazing because like at $1 million, you're now like adding a level of stakes to for like 99% of the content creators that I don't want to say like, I don't diminish $1 million, but it's life-changing. Yeah, it's life-changing. Life-changing. What do you mean diminish? No, $1 million is like changes so much in someone's life that creates like an element of, you know, that's all. That's all. I don't know. I guess my tweet might have explained it better than my rant, but I had no idea that like, to the point that I'd never insulted Grant before online, other than maybe when he didn't play in the PGA event. I thought that was kind of corny because so much of the content of his that I have seen is like, would I make the cut sort of thing? And I thought like, isn't that the coolest thing? But you know, he weighed that. But I think that had been the only time online I'd been critical of Grant. So I'd never experienced the cult of Grant before. You know, we've made comments on the show sort of much like what we're saying now, really no different. You know, and I don't really think we've ever gotten blowback for it, but I tweeted something kind of harmless, and I was just amazed at some of like the cult like follow. Sorry, I'm not amazed. Like he's got a huge following. I was just amazed. Yeah, it's like Tuanon. Felt like I was experiencing Tuanon again.
I went and looked through some of those comments because I was very curious. And I think it's just a big generational divide that, like, I don't want to say kids, but like under, hell, I guess even under 30 at this point. I was going to say under 25. Like, that's like their version of golf. They're not watching the PGA Tour, so it means a lot to them. People our age, like some people watch it, some people don't. Like, I've made the only YouTube golf I think I ever watched was Bryson playing with Trump. That was it.
Yeah,
I was curious.
Listen, like I watch some of, I mean, my YouTube algo is like all over the place.
You know, you don't even use YouTube.
Shut up.
How's
YouTube
Rumble?
Premium.
You know what? How's Rumble golf? That's what we want to know, Jeff.
I got no clue. I couldn't even tell you. I mean that. Like, I let you forensic my phone as to when the last time I've been on Rumble was when I watched that like Barstool Survivor on Rumble. But I pay now the stuff that I used to go to like Rumble for that they kicked off YouTube, like full length stuff from like old school Stern. I just pay like $5 for a guy's Discord now who has the most amazing compilations. And I used to like have to find some of that stuff on Rumble. So yeah, I'm not even nothing for me. I don't see ads about like batons that'll take your head off anymore.
But because we started uploading to Rumble, my single favorite ad, I think, Jared, it was you who mentioned it when we first logged in. It was a tea that was, the taste was liberal tears. What is this?
The commercials on Rumble are hilarious. Like the commercial run, the ad run through Rumble is absurd.
It's almost it's almost as absurd as the stuff that we used to run at Fantasy Sports Network when we first started. We had no advertisers. It was just Dr. Hose all day long.
And Pat, I totally get, like, you could be a PGA Tour hardo, but guess what? On like Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, PGA Tour isn't on. So you want your golf fix, like you'll watch YouTube stuff. That also seems like totally normal behavior.
Well, it's also more conducive to people because it's edited, it's shorter, and it's not live. So you can jump in and out. You can stop it, and you can't do that to the PGA Tour. It's not like, oh, well, it's 5 o'clock on Sunday. I'm going to pause this Justin Rose, and like, I'll come back tomorrow to see if he wins.
Well, yeah, and some people were like, he got like better TV ratings and then list these events. And I'm like,
well,
I content versus like live cognizant final round.
I also don't understand what that means. Are they equating a viewer who watches on television to a viewer who watches on YouTube? Because that's crazy.
I don't know. But again, peace and love. I got
biggest rival.
It's just not for me in the same way. Like, my needle moves backwards if you hand me a hot dog with relish on it. All respect to the relish crew. That's it. Just different topping. That's all.
We didn't get to discuss Patrick Reed coming back. That happened after we recorded last week.
Yeah, that was super cool. Right? He plays Sunday in his Aces gear. And Justine's like a hardo. Like, if he was done, I guess, they were still negotiating there. Maybe, he'd have gone to the pro shop and like bought clothes. He's done it before. A Golf Galaxy. I love it.
Here's what I don't like about it. You and I have been team Patrick Reed for over a decade now.
Now he's a good guy. What?
Yeah. Now he's just, it's so great to see Patrick Reed coming back. The same people who 3 years ago, like, fuck Patrick Reed, I'm glad he's gone. Like, which side is it? Which side do you want?
Well, I guess maybe they realize like that it is a show. And
they didn't. They just don't like LIV. So they're like, fuck LIV. I like Patrick Reed now, when they do not like Patrick Reed.
Okay, fair. This is like a chance. Yeah. I would probably agree with that a lot of those people, it's just like they don't actually like Patrick Reed, but it lets them like pour dirt on LIV. So they like Patrick Reed for 10 minutes. Yeah. Noted. Agreed.
That would be my stance. He lost in the playoff over. I've never seen anyone concede in a playoff before. It was a 3-man playoff over on the DP World Tour for the Make It Rain Championship, and the German guy ended up winning. Shout out Bolesky, who tipped that guy at like 125-1.
Shout out.
Was it Callum Hill, Connor Syme, one of the Scottish guys?
Hill, I think.
Was it Hill? He put it OB off the tee, and then he put it OB on his second shot and just conceded the hole in the second playoff hole, and it was over.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be like, his head is probably spinning. I feel like most people would let that happen before, but you also, like, out of respect, there's like a moment in like putting it out almost. Like, for the guy who wins, right? He deserves that. But I don't know, whatever. I might have done that also.
I probably would have too. It's just, you just don't see it.
I agree. And I saw, tweets, is that even allowed? And I guess if once he picks his ball up, I guess he's disqualified himself. I guess it is allowed.
Like the only thing I can remember even close to that was, throughout the years, I have not been a big bettor on Tony Finau, but I had Finau when he won that playoff event against Cam Smith, and Cam Smith put it OB like out of the course off the tee in the first playoff hole. He may have conceded after that. I can't remember.
What tournament was that? Detroit?
No, it was the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. I believe.
Oh yeah, the Liberty
National.
That was when we were still at Liberty Nash. Yeah, you got a beauty.
Just pushed it and sliced it right. And I was like, oh boy, that's not good. Waste Management. The WM Phoenix Open. I think that they wanted to get Waste Management. I think Waste Management changed its name to WM, but I think that they stopped enjoying the fact that it was called the Wasted Management, and they just wanted to change the name of it. That's my thoughts behind it.
Listen, it's like how, it just doesn't sound good in the way that like Kentucky Fried Chicken is just like KFC. We're KFC. We're not Kentucky Fried Chicken. We're KFC. Just like with the nonsense they put on the Learning Channel, we're TLC now. We're not the Learning Channel. It's just TLC.
Well, if you wanted to tune into TLC, you can watch the 1,000-pound sisters go back and forth drinking their Diet Cokes all day, trying to shave some calories off. But if I have a tease for the Super Bowl show, I think that the first thing I thought of when Cust told me this idea was the Learning Channel and the 1,000-pound sisters. So I'll just tease it that way.
Oh my God.
For his new idea.
And he's been on a roll. Yeah, he's been on a roll.
Vote in the Custies. They're down in the description right now. His Olympics takes really put people back in the Tim Most Insane corner, and anything that you had done has been kind of abolished.
What was the event called? The new one again?
Ski mountaineering.
Pat, I've looked at it again.
These are
they're super athletes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the fact that he said that. And the worst part is like, I don't want to diminish that curling isn't hard at the highest level. Like some guy got really mad at me because I said that bowling wasn't hard. I'm not saying that bowling's not hard to shoot to roll a 300 game, but versus performing ice dance in the Olympics, it's not very fucking hard. It's like on the lower end of things people can do versus figure skating and ski mountaineering. It's just wild to me.
Whatever, love him. Watch it. You'll hoot.
Yeah, I kind of freaked out in it. Well, there was a few people who were like, I can't believe you. It's a fucking show at the same time. People forget that. Anyway, WM, I bet Brooks. I'm in. I saw what I needed to see.
I said last week that he just has to like make the cut. And if you want to bet him this week, I would argue that's like enough. Him playing 4 rounds might be enough. I'm not there.
40-1. He was 11th tee to green of anyone at the Farmers and lost the most strokes putting of any player. And it was especially bad on Saturday. He lost over 5 strokes putting on Saturday. The ball striking was exactly where it needed to be. The chipping was really good. And in 5 career starts in Phoenix, Brooks has won twice, come in third, and never lost strokes putting.
The hat trick. Who's anyone who, like, other than Tiger, like, who's won at a course 3 times?
Well, I believe if you had opened up that email that I sent out last night.
You sent it out at 8:30.
I tried to get to the info early so you could get prepped for this.
Honestly, I know there wasn't football yesterday, which is, football sad. It's literally starting not next Sunday, the following Sunday. I will be all up in the research shows, in the newsletters. But right now, I'm not processing well.
So here we are. Johnny Miller, Hideki Matsuyama, and Scottie Scheffler are the only 3 players who have ever won the WM Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale in consecutive years. However, Phil, Gene Littler, and Mark Calcavecchia have all won this event 3 times.
Yeah, 50 doesn't seem unfair. I
have 40. I have 40. I wish it was 50, but it's not. 40.
Okay.
Coolbet.com.
I feel like you're gonna see like boosted Brookses this week.
Listen, I'll get back in on it if the number gets a bit higher, but sure. I saw a few open at like 33, 35, and I saw Coolbet hanging at 40. Maybe I jumped the gun on it, but I wrote him up in the newsletter last night. as I was impressed by his performance. And these putting issues aren't new for Brooks.
Yeah.
They are something that's basically plagued him since he won the PGA Championship. It happened in the majors last year. It happened all over LIV. Dude couldn't make a putt. And seemingly he should have negotiated that out of his return in the contract and left that over in Saudi Arabia. That wasn't the case. He brought his terrible putting with him. But these surfaces, he has just been good in his career on. And the fact that he was able, he said it's funny. He had this interview with Amanda Balionis after. Is she still Balionis or is she still Renner? I always forget.
It's still something. No, she's been married. It's Balionis.
It's Balionis again? Okay, perfect. So he's talking to Amanda after his round yesterday. And she's like, I heard that you.
Renner's for sure.
What?
Nothing. It's Renner, but I think it's Renner. She's still Balionis still plays the last act there.
What?
Nothing. Sorry. Let's go. What was Miss Renner Balionis saying?
That she had heard that Brooks went to, I guess, the Scotty Cameron like putting whatever on Saturday evening and spent like 4 or 5 hours there. And Brooks like really downplayed how much he was practicing putting. He's like, yeah, I don't know if it was 4 hours. He's like, I was there for a bit of time. Like, just like, yeah, I don't practice kind of thing. Typical Brooks type stuff. But apparently dude was grinding on Saturday evening to like figure out what was wrong with his putting. And his putting improved by 5 shots. And it was basically impossible to lose 5 strokes putting in back-to-back rounds. But it did get substantially better on Sunday. He still lost to the field, but albeit very marginally. But those are also POA greens, and POA greens are guys either got it or they don't on those putting surfaces.
Listen, it's a Brooks happy place. There's going to be some like incredible Sunday chip in. At that moment, I'll know it's over, and I'm an idiot.
And if you
I'd rather bet him than Morikawa.
I agree. Because I did do that. I did bet him over Morikawa. But Brooks is where I wanted to start with all this, just because we didn't bring him up in the recap. I was saving him to talk about that. I thought he played well.
He did what he needed to do, especially for a guy that, I'm pretty confident he's grinding now, but I'm confident he was enjoying Christmas.
Sure. And listen,
as he deserves to do.
He's at the putting center. Trying to get his game in line here. But let's go to the top of the odds board. Scotty's here. I suppose we should section out a Scotty discussion because he's plus 220 to win this tournament. The next closest person is 20-1, and it's Xander. So there's a big gap between Scotty and everyone else. You talked a little bit already about the non-Scotty markets. I took a gander at those this morning just because I always do to see if the for example, like later on, I have bet Pearson Cootie at 66-1 because I'm betting him until he wins, or at least he falls off the face of the earth. He's playing awesome now. He led everyone in driving. You need to have a big driver here. 90% of the tee shots are going to be drives at this course. You want a great driver of the ball. He's at 66-1. I looked in the non-Scotty market. He's 30-1. Like, I'm not giving up over half the value. I'm just not. Sorry. If it was 5 points of difference, I would. 30, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers got the math has to math for you. I totally get it. But I would search, try to search a few of those markets.
Yeah, but I don't have access to the same markets that you do, being in different jurisdictions.
I guess you'd be amazed how squeezed I am at the moment. These fucking people. Yeah, I don't know. But then you take on the flip side of that, I would argue, Cam Young at 25, 20 might be worth it.
Yeah, but I'm seeing 16.
Okay, well,
I don't want to do 16 or 14 on Cam Young.
As long as the Philippines close their match out in the 97th minute, then I'm pretty sure I'd Cam at 20-1.
Yeah, I don't think that parlaying stuff together is necessarily the best way to go about it.
No, these are minus 9,000s because they only let me bet. They won't let me bet it, but I can bet it in $17 increments. Let's see. I'll tell you how it went this morning. We got a winner. Nugam Masser closed that game out. That was minus 4,000. So we're up to 2020.
So what did it start? What did Cam Young's number start at? And parlaying that with it, what did it boost it up to?
Nothing. It's not even about what it boosted up to. It's letting me make the bet.
Oh, I see. Because you're limited.
It will only let me bet $1, $1.56 if I want to bet it on my own. It'll let me make unlimited $17 parlays if I put it with something. So
got
I'm like, oh, there's a soccer game, and I'm taking it to like under 7.5 goals minus a gajillion.
I got you. I see what you're saying here now. It's a way to get around being limited.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not.
I thought you were doing it to boost his number up by a fractional point.
No, I'm not.
From 16 to 16.1.
It's got to be like, it's got to be stupid. And it looks like right now I'm 2 for 2. And then I got one more thing with Jeddah Club versus Al Jabala under 5.5. And there's 1 goal through 60. So, yeah, that'll take Cam Young from plus 2050 to plus 2121. Double barrel of Danians. That makes me feel good, actually. So that's how I have to like bet on that stupid site, because that was the first place I saw without Cam numbers that lets me bet.
Oh, Scottie
without Scottie. So I bet Cam.
Well, this is now the discussion.
20-1
well, this is now
Scottie.
Now this is the discussion around Scottie Scheffler. Is this what it was like to cover Tiger in the early 2000s? Like, there is no discussion. Like, he's very clearly the best guy here. He's probably going to win.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't win.
I just like, it would be funny if we could make like an SNL skit-esque thing. Just I'm doing this in my head. I didn't work with Cam until like 2008, but I could only imagine of being around Cam in the news pit during like the Tiger eras. And like him never like just taking everyone but Tiger at plus 100 every time. I probably would have done the same. I don't know. Maybe we just would have bet it. Maybe it was free money. I don't know.
I ran my model on betspertsgolf.com. That's in the newsletter as well. And you can see how I got through everything on the research show from Saturday up on Mayo Media Network right now. Yeah, you subscribe to the audio podcast, rate and review 5 stars. You get your name as a ballot in a draw. You do each of them. You get 3. Sub to the newsletter. That's 4. Giving away $250 on Friday. If you got 10 seconds, you might as well go do it. And maybe you'll win $250. That's good ROI per hour by just helping us out here and really enhancing the show to make it more discoverable for people. That Scheffler was like 20 points better in the stats that I looked at than number 2. As Noonan pointed out, that the difference between, and Cootie was number 2. So the difference between Scheffler and Cootie was the same difference as Cootie to like number 28 on the list. That's how much better he has been. But I'm not betting him plus 220 or 2-1 or 40.
No, I get it's not betting him, but it's just now thinking about I don't want to like do each ways on 25-1, guys, but there's a price. I think I'm willing to pay the tax now. Him winning the Amex just has me so rattled.
Maybe it's an opportunity for us we're getting better numbers on a lot of these guys that we wouldn't be getting, all because he won the Amex. And maybe that's it. Maybe it was the peak of Scottie's career winning the Amex. Maybe that was it. Never win again.
Yeah. Oh my God. There are, of course, numbers that tempt me. My wheel of losers, I'd love to spin it, but Scottie's here. Oh, there's so many guys.
So here's this range. It's 20 to 40, let's call it. And this is up at coolbet.com. Hit the description, get yourself a bonus, fastest payouts in the biz. And I got some boosted Olympic stuff up there already. Thanks to Morency for that. Mixed doubles curling. Italy is where you want to be. And they're already plus 130. Xander is second on the board. He's 20-1. Hideki, who is Cust one and done, is 25-1. Burns, Griffin, Kim, very consistent Siwoo, and Cam Young, all 28-1. Hovland, McNeely at 33. First time we've seen Victor over in America this year. English, Fitzpatrick, Fowler, Gotterup, Brooks, Morikawa, and Spawn are all 40-1. I have bet 2 of these guys. Brooks, obviously. And I bet Fitzpatrick at 45 when he was hanging out there. Sorry, at 50 when he was hanging out there. He's down to 40.
Yeah, that's not bad. I still see some 45s there for Maddie.
I also bet Cam Young at 28-1.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna hit that also with my without Scotties. Just like have some of both. Like a 70-30 split.
That could be the way to do it. Just I'm not big on the, like I said, unless I see,
like, I don't even hate this guy. He's so good. I don't know. Maybe we just hammer down. We've been good here. We've had so much luck here. Why should that stop?
Most of it is Brooks related.
Brooks, Ricky, Decky, just a lot. a lot of before the Super Bowl sweat jobs.
Like getting an SJ right before the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty good as long as the bunny ends up in your account. Name brand winners outside of really the last 2 years have been kind of the theme in Phoenix over the years. Like Taylor won in that playoff over Chuck Hoffman, where Nick Taylor doesn't miss a putt in Phoenix. So just remember that. And then Dietrich out of nowhere just kind of dominates. Scheffler came 25th at this tournament last year. Don't forget that.
Yeah. But that was his first tournament back from the hand injury.
I believe it was his second. I think he had played Pebble Beach the week before. Because they swapped this year.
Yeah, the schedule's all weird.
And then he went on his run. He played Genesis and came like 7th or something. And then it was all over. Well, actually, it was post-Masters before Scottie got a win, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, because remember Phil tweeted he's not going to win until he's not going to win until the Ryder Cup or something.
Yeah, then he won 2 majors. So Cam, Brooks, and Fitz for me, 28, 40, and 50 were the ones I went for in that range. To you, don't worry about the non-Scotty market. Who sticks out to you from this range? Because I still kind of want to get to Siwoo. Siwoo is trending towards something. And Players Champions have played really well and won in Phoenix over time. Even Hideki, fake Players Champion, has 2 wins here.
I don't think I can bet Siwoo 30-1.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like trending, his consistency, right? It's so funny to see like what he is now, as opposed to like Boomer Bust 2016 DraftKings. For me, I would be looking at Connors 57.
Do you ever not look at Connors, a guy who has won 2 times in 8 years?
I look at Connors sometimes. I don't mind Connors. Minwoo Lee, like we're going way down the board.
Okay.
Matt McCarty.
So we're not. I was just discussing from the 20 to 40 range.
Yeah, I don't know. I bet on Cam, and I don't know. All these other guys sort of don't tempt me. I have my Sahith money. I might even sprinkle more on the current 55-1s out there to sprinkle on top.
Yeah, Theegala went up, then he went back down. I saw him as low as 35 this morning, and they quickly got rid of those numbers. So Theegala's an interesting starting point here from the 50 range. I think he's going to be the most bet on player this week.
That's not good.
You don't think that he will be? Who's not thinking that Sahith's going to have a good week?
I just said that's not good. Like I've already bet him. You never want that. That'd be fun though for the books to hand out all that money right before the Super Bowl to the golf internet community. That'd be fun.
It'd be very charitable of them. I mean, if golf was rigged, we're going to get a Brooks Scottie showdown down the wire here. Spieth maybe
Brooks
too.
Scottie showdown
Spieth
20 minutes before the Super Bowl. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah, that'd be throw Spieth into the mix too, and you got all the ratings you'll ever want. Sahith is really interesting. He's playing great golf right now. He still needs another good week to get into the signature events. They start next week. Pebble and Genesis back to back. So everyone who's trying to get in the Aon Swing 5, which I do think is somewhat important, Sahith is 6th in that, and only the top 5 get in. And Knapp is just behind him. Haotong and Jaeger are just behind him as well, which I thought was interesting. It's Cootie, McCarty, Rogers, Hisatune, and Andrew Putnam is the top 5 right now. But everyone's kind of close to Putnam, so a good week from Theegala or Knapp probably pushes them in. I don't know what to make of Theegala. I'm not going to bet him. He popped up for me. He was someone I was eyeing, and then it just got to the point where I started looking at the guys way behind him on the betting boards. Like, I'd rather just bet on those guys. As much as if Sahith was 90, I would be in. At 50, 55, nah, not doing that. It's no different than what I was talking about in the non-Scotty market. Like, if a guy is 66-1, if he was 55-1, yeah, maybe that's a much more sound bet getting rid of Scotty. You make him 30-1. It's like, well, I don't want to do that.
It's hard to disagree with anything you said there. Sahith might have reached his plateau in terms of the number. Going a little more down because I didn't give you what you want before. Like staring at it now, I would take my chances, Pat, and for sure bet Hideki at 28 over Siwoo at 30.
Okay. Even though Cust has taken him. Look what he did to your poor boy Pendrith last week.
Yeah. I didn't see. I say these things. I'm not privy to this information. Hideki here. That's the one and done. Okay. Thanks, Cust.
It's a good pick. I can't begrudge him. The guy either wins or WDs, so you're playing with fire.
And even,
So it's okay.
I would say of all those like higher end guys who aren't Scottie, obviously I'm stuck on Cam here. I didn't bet him last week, waiting for this one. I like Hideki under 50 as much as anyone, not like unrelated to Scottie.
Here's an interesting one because we just kind of glossed over him. Xander is 20-1 in a tournament, like a regular field tournament. That, yeah, it has Scheffler, but everyone else isn't here. We'd be begging for this number 18 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It looked like I saw a punch.
I was just enjoying life.
Yeah, it's yeah.
The body fat doctor, Geoff Fienberg?
No, I just listen. Got eyeballs. You watch these guys a lot. Just like people watch me. Not as many. Yeah, like Xander wins. I'm not shocked. I'd rather bet Cam Young, or if I moved off Cam Young, like Hideki, than Xander, I think. Xander off a cut. Who knows? Maybe he's motivated or lost.
I forgot that broke his cut streak, didn't it? Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, again, Xander, I mean, obviously Ludwig was the ugliest, but all those guys all those guys near the top last week did not fare well.
Gotterup, I think, is an interesting look here with just how he hits it off the tee. I saw a boost on him up to 66-1, so that actually did
good.
That's a really good number, but I already have money in, so I need to kind of assess. I still want to talk to Keith on Wednesday to see if there's like anything that he can see that's going on, because I like to hear what his thoughts on the matter are too. I thought it was interesting about Sahith, though, just like the bandwagon that is happening with him and the steam and the number right now, because looking at it logically, and obviously Sahith has been around longer. He's had success at this course. Remember the moment when Cust said he was going to win, he put the ball in the water on 17. I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago now. Maybe was that the year? I think it was when Scheffler beat Cantlay in the playoff, actually. Whatever year that was. But Thigala's been good at this course. People really like Thigala, and they want him to do well, because there's no reason for him to have a better number than Cootie, honestly, who's been playing better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's got, I don't want to certain equities in the betting markets that, like, once he shows life, people are willing to, get him closer to what we thought a year ago. Where I know I bet him at Torrey Pines, and maybe I even bet him here at what would have probably been around 30-1. That's what, he gets. I don't know. His dad gets TV time. He's been on the President's Cup. I could see why his number will get crashed before Cootie would.
Great eyebrows too.
Great eyebrows. He's got a distinct look and name, and that helps, right? Just look at the Jig Bobo props.
It's true. But would I want to bet him over, like, Daniel Berger is 16 points longer? I don't see that much difference between the two. In fact, Berger's been playing a bit more consistently. Kitayama is a better player than Thigala right now. Thorbjornsen's been playing better than Thigala. Like, Thigala's had a good 2 weeks, mind you, but it's been a while since we've seen, like, high upside type guys. Like, Minwoo won a tournament last year. Like, Matt McCarty's playing great golf. Both of the Højgaards might be better than Sahith at the moment as well. Sam Stevens is playing really good golf, but the one that stuck out to me, Kenny tweeted...
Guess?
What's that?
I was going to say, can I guess who stood out to you?
Yes.
Is it Sepp?
Yeah. This doesn't make... He's probably not going to win. This number makes absolutely no sense. Right now at CoolBet, he's 80-1. I've seen him at 75-1 at other places. The sharpest of the golf books now has him listed at 40-1. That number is going to disappear. I bet him at 80.
As we were sort of running through names at the back of the board, that name popped to me as you were talking, so I thought I would be able to guess that. Yeah. How do you argue? Like, you're betting... It's almost like this evergreen conversation we have. We're betting outright winner. Like, Sepp could miss the cut, whatever. I'll make a lot of loser 80-1, 70-1 bets. This one feels like I got ceiling win equity back here.
Additionally, if we had just done the same logic last week, we would have bet Justin Rose. Like, hey, here's the number 10 player in the world who is 25th on the betting board. Why don't we bet that guy? This is the same thing with Straka. Straka's what, 12th in the world? And he's 58th on the betting board somehow?
Yeah, your whole conversation makes me think like if I like Sahith, then like Chris Gotterup at 50 is probably like a much better bet.
Play. That's where I'm getting at with the Sahith number. That if it was back here, and like Sahith is behind Michael Kim in the world rankings. My guy, Michael Kim, is fine coming off his back injury. He's 100-1. Like that's realistically where Sahith should be. But he has 2 pretty good weeks in a row. One of them is a real backdoor charge on a Sunday. Not to say that Cootie's wasn't either. It was. But all of a sudden, like, I'll cut his odds in half. It's fine.
And I get why one specific book would have Sigala's numbers crashed because they had him at like 140-1 a month ago. And it seems like a lot of smart people, Byron, would been apparently tweeted about it. I saw the retweet. I didn't see when he did that. That they need to not want to take any more action. But I don't know what the other like 7 golf books are afraid of giving people like a fair Sahith at 70-1.
I think it just plays into the fact that I know that he's going to be the most bet on guy this week. Outside of Scottie, probably, because just especially for
Brooks will probably be on the short list too, I think.
I don't know, because I don't know if people will see his T56 from Farmers and be like, ugh, that's not very good. But then you look at the stats, like, oh, it actually was kind of good.
Little engine rev before a comfort place.
What do you think the Scottie plus Seahawks money line parlays are going to be?
Honestly, the fact is, if I wouldn't even be impressed if I put like $2,000 on what that would pay.
Oh, please.
I'm not trying to like diminish it, but
you are. You wouldn't want to win $7,500?
I don't even think it would pay $7,500.
Well, Scottie's plus 240. So if you put anything with him, it's going to go up. It'd be over 3 to 1.
So what would it go to? Like 4.5 to 1?
Yeah, and you put $2,000 down on it. That's how math works. You win over
$8,000. I
guess
I was thinking 1,000, but I said 2.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would need more to like need those things to happen.
Sure. Ricky's 40-1. Same as Fitzpatrick. That's why I bet on Fitzpatrick at 50. I was like, Fitzpatrick's another one. What is he, like 8th in the world? Also, weird. I mentioned the Players' Championship. The other weird crossover here is this course, when you take a look at how the winners do it, it's either like big spike putting, you're going to need to putt. But when you look at driving, approach, and around the green, they're all like kind of flat, which you just don't see at tournaments. That it's a pure tee to green game. And the guys that have won here have done really well at U.S. Opens. I don't know why that is, but it is.
Guys that have won here have done really well at U.S. Opens. Yeah, sure. Even the guys that like didn't win here, but I feel like have played well here a lot over the years.
It just pushes a lot of guys to the top of the board. Like Woodland, Webb, and Brooks, all U.S. Open winners. Scheffler has 4 top 10s at U.S. Opens the past 5 years. Even Cantlay, who hasn't won this tournament, but said Brooks. Like Ricky had that great U.S. Open run for ages. Hideki has like 5 top 10s in the past 10 years.
Yeah, Finau was always great here, and he always had like
Finau has not. Someone mentioned this earlier. Like, why not Finau this week after his week? He's been like dog shit here outside of 1 year. He's missed the cut 5 of 7 times. He came second to Webb that year in the playoff. That's the year that everyone seems to remember with Finau. Not that he hates Phoenix because it's too rowdy.
Bubba didn't play well at U.S. Opens, but
No.
Yeah, it's weird.
But Bubba had his like 3 courses where he played well.
Yeah, of course.
And this just happened to be one of them. Anyway, I thought that was interesting that this full tee to green game is somewhat necessary. So like I was looking at Johnny Kiefer again when we get down the board because his driving and irons continue to be awesome. But like the dude can't putt or chip at all. Like, he can't chip. That's a real problem.
So then you can't laugh at me when I say like Niergaard Pedersen, who had a great little Oakmont.
I think that Niergaard Peterson's actually a pretty decent look. We just haven't got to 100-1 yet.
Fair.
I'm still going with Matt McCarty. I bet Matt McCarty at 80.
Yeah, I think I mentioned him earlier. We hadn't even spoken. I want to bet Matt McCarty for like the next 6 weeks. See where it gets me.
He's just been lingering. He hasn't had a shot to win any of these tournaments, though. He's just kind of there. You see his name. He's on the leaderboard. You're like, okay, here we go. This could be something. Then it just kind of goes away.
Either Højgaard going to do something?
I think it was Rasmus at this tournament last year who did something. I believe he came in second place. But I always prefer Nikolai to Rasmus. No idea why, but I do.
I think I bet them both last year.
Did you bet Dietrich last year?
No.
That's devastating. Sam Stevens is down here. Your boy Davis Thompson put up a great tee to green week. Could not putt last week.
Yeah, generational flusher.
If we go to 100,
I'll always be tempted. How Tong solid? I always sorry, we're going a little backwards there, but Davis 100 also I see.
So if we go to that 100 to 1 spot, like if you want to bet a long shot or two, Kiefer was just the first name that popped into my mind because I just feel like he's been good, but just not good enough to put it all together. Other than that, like Nirgard Peterson, I think works. I think Alex Smalley works. Now that he's back down to 200 to 1. My guy,
you bet all these each ways though, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Phillips is 300 to 1 again. Phillips was sniffing. He had a bad bogey streak on Saturday to end his round. He was at -9. If he had just stayed there, he would have got his top 8. He's starting to play a lot better golf. And I think that he's someone to look at as maybe not an outright winner, but top 20, top 10 type market. You're just going to get big numbers on him. I think Honda is the spot where you want to deploy him overall, but I just thought it was interesting that he stood out that way again.
Sorry. Just looking for a fresh without market for some of these longer shots. But that's the thing. That's where we're going to get like, I'm just not going to bet the guys at like 75 that show up at like 35 on that market.
It sucks, right?
Yeah, which is weird because I'll swallow like 5 points at the top for a guy in the 20s, no problem. I'll eat it. I don't know. Like, what are they going to ask me for like Minwoo without Scottie? What are they going to
Probably 35 to 1.
Kill me.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's bad. Betting would never make me do that. We didn't even mention Victor at all, but he's here. Was he been here before?
I think he's played here before. I don't think he plays it every year like some of the guys. It's got a really good field for a non-signature event.
Yeah, I thought last week was pretty good too.
This is better.
Well, obviously Scottie, but
Victor has never.
Victor
has played this 3 times, never finished better than 42nd. You know why? Because he can't chip. Can't play out of the sand and he can't chip. It's a problem.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys I want to bet, so now I got to figure out the math.
I would like to see someone run a study on this about because obviously it's with this small sample because Scottie's been on such a run, but even including how many wins that he's had over the last little bit, that the Scottie versus non-Scottie market, if you were just to bet some of the guys that won over time or that range of guys, obviously, if you're not picking the right guys, they're not going to win anyway. It's not like they're always coming in second to Scottie, but would it be profitable to bet the non-Scottie market, or is it more profitable to stick in the with Scottie market? Because if your guy wins, you just get boosted odds on him, basically.
I mean, like, what do you call it? The without Scottie market, essentially, it's probably more profitable the without the with Scottie.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, just because it seems like they're making you pay like extra rake on the non-Scottie.
Yeah, no, it definitely
except for some guys.
The reality is, like, the guy I'm going to bet even going to come in second place. Like, no, the guy I bet's going to play awesome. You know, if like he's going to play good enough to win, then you got to just have your fingers crossed. Sorry, if he's going to play good enough to come second, then you got to just have your fingers crossed. It's not Scottie, and he's going to be right there with someone he's better than or doesn't fear.
I don't know what his odds are or what he's really been up to, but Mac Meisner rates out really well here. Just looking at this right now.
He's been what Sony and MX, he played fine, I think. So I'm like Ling Jering.
He's 200 to 1.
Just thought he was 175. You'd think that would sort of not be so high after, showing himself a bit.
Yeah, 40th at the Sony, 63rd at Amex, 49th at Farmers. So yeah, it's been on the downturn for him after a pretty good swing season, but everything is still that you'd want to see is kind of there. It's just not all come together yet.
In the north of 100, like, how bad's Boccia been?
Pretty bad so far this year, but he was another one that stuck out to me almost instantaneously. If I had to ask you, who wins more tournaments in 2026? And this seems very unfair because they're the only 2 brown guys out there, except for my main man, Canadian Shooter, which what I'm calling him now. Shushar, or whatever his name is. But Akshay or Sahith, who do you think wins more this year? I say it's Akshay. I think Akshay's better.
Yeah, I could see Akshay having a better career. I think it's kind of a toss-up, so I guess that means the guy getting 100 points more is
probably the bet, right?
Would be the guy to bet. Yeah. Greiserman's just always does his thing too. He's gonna suck me in, maybe.
He's 100-1, and like it's not like you're investing a ton into him if you want to go.
I'm actually seeing 150, but let's see if that's real or at a place that's real for me. The internet
didn't shower him in glory last week. Himself in glory last week at Torrey, missed the cut. And wasn't all that good at American Express, but he just kind of does nothing, pops, and then does nothing. Like he's almost turned into Siwoo in a weird way, except he doesn't win when he plays well. He comes in second when he plays well. He is the ultimate no Scottie Scheffler bet, is Grazerman.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn this into a card.
Well, let's go to the quick picks because I got mine right now. I will add more to this, maybe some other type of plays in the Mayo Media newsletter, and I'll discuss that final card with Keith on Wednesday morning, so please tune into that. But I got Cam at 28, Brooks at 40, Fitzpatrick at 50, Cootie at 66, McCarty and Seb Straka both at 80-1. Those are my quick picks for this tournament. If you sub to that free Mayo Media newsletter, it gets you ballots in the draw for the $250 giveaway. Maybe I can throw in a subscription to the rabbit hole with that too. Hey, you might as well just try it out. See what's going on. Subscribe, rate, and review both Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, the Pat Mayo Experience. Rate that 5 stars, and that gives you 2 more ballots into that cash giveaway draw with maybe some extra prizes to go along with it. So I'd highly recommend that. If you want McCarty or Straka, go look for them now before those numbers crash. Coolbet.com, if you're in Canada outside of Ontario, still has those numbers as we're doing the show. What it's like in an hour, Jeff, I do not know.
Yeah, and I'll be like hawking for a place I like to drop their withouts and see if I can find something. In on Cam Young, that's going to be a split with and without. Yeah, I'm just going to play both ends of that because I'm a lunatic. Now we're crossing 50. We're going pretty deep. For sure betting Minwoo Lee, and I'm for sure betting Matt McCarty. Right now I'm seeing them both 75, 80. And then around that, you know, it's my usual wheel of losers. I'm a sucker. I'm going to be looking at Corey Connors. I'm going to do a lap around Matthew Fitzpatrick. The SEP numbers seem so strong. I don't know if I'm going to get there. Double barrel Højgaards are on my short list. And near guard Pedersen. I don't think you'll see a final card of mine that doesn't have him. So yeah, that's what's swimming around in my head, and I might even make a live bet too.
Well, we'll talk about live here in a second. I do want to do the one and done first, though. As I mentioned, Cust is taking Hideki. I made a move to catch up to you last week. Mad McNeely came in 10th place. He wasn't second for a while. I was like, all right, here we go. And then he kind of dropped back. Who should I take in the one and done? I'm seeing Xander at 24 in some spots now. Wow. Burns is at 30. It's another name that we didn't mention. Would this be a spot to waste Brooks or not? You know who I'm going to take? Jake Knapp.
Interesting.
I don't think he's going to win. I just think he has a pretty good performance here. But wouldn't be a bad Gotterup spot either, especially with his number. Just his number makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
really
that's
doesn't.
who I was going to take anyway.
So. You're going to take Gotterup?
Yeah.
I just kind of want to save some of these other guys, or I don't like some of the other guys. One of the good things to do for one and done, if people want to know, is who are the guys that we didn't talk about from the top end? We barely talked. You know what? I'm going to change my pick to Siwoo. I will take Siwoo.
One and done to Siwoo.
Yeah, I'm changing my one and done to Siwoo because we didn't really talk about Siwoo all that much. We didn't talk about Griffin at all, or Burns, or McNeely. Barely touched on Hovland, Jake Knapp, or Harris English, or Morikawa. All of these guys are 40-1 and below.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see my screen flash for Xander. So you're right. People have not bet it this morning. Wow.
Yeah, people are disinterested in betting Xander Schauffele, which is usually not a good thing. Great U.S. Open player, has played well here before, and coming off a bad round.
Yeah. Wow. I'm seeing 25 now.
So LIV is in Saudi this week, and it's under the lights. It's the night golf tournament.
I feel like the winners of the openers have been like weird. Like
You got to talk into the mic.
I feel like the winners of their openers have not been like the usual suspects.
I have bet Caleb Surratt at 40-1.
Okay, so I was looking at Surratt and Ballister.
Ballister, I believe, won here. Actually, I can get you the inside info on this. I messaged Vincenzi about like what's going on at this course. Give me the. He thinks that Puig is going to win, but he's like 10-1. I didn't want to do that. Meronk won this last year in the dark, and it's the same course where the Saudi International was played in November, and I believe that Ballister won that tournament, didn't he?
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it because it doesn't matter. But I'm just confirming. Yeah, he's not here. Thomas Peters retired.
What?
Didn't he? I'm not making that up.
Is that true?
No, I lied.
He's just what, like 180-1 in a 40-man field?
No, why did I see he was okay? Who fake news me? People take advantage of me.
That you just believe everything that you read?
No, that because you don't get much Thomas Peters news, and then someone sends me something, and they're tricking me. I like Thomas Detry though.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Make a good banger here. Start career outright.
It's just really weird with playing underneath the lights in the dark. Like some people just can't do it. Like Meronk ended up winning this one last year. I want to see if the results were like really weird.
Yeah, and how many was he winning by? Because now he'll need to do it for another day.
That's true. Can he hold on? This I don't know.
And I guess the extra day, like, obviously favors John Rahm, who like loses by 1 stroke every week after 3 rounds, right?
I would tend to agree. I would get. I mean, overall, the extra round benefits the other player, like the better.
But John
players.
Rahm never doesn't come like top 3, despite not winning much. Yet the extra day now he goes into the final day like back a shot.
So he lost by 2 last year. It was Meronk, Rahm, Munoz, Burmeister, Lucas Herbert, Puig, Sergio. Sergio almost got himself into that DP World Tour playoff last week. Where's Sergio's odds? Probably terrible. Yeah, 20-1.
45.
Whoa, you see a 45? I see a 20.
Oh, I don't know
Wow.
if that's real then. But Benny Ann.
That's true. Ben On is there. I'd rather just bet Ballister and Surratt and go with it. What are Ben Ann's odds? I don't even see Ben Ann on this list. Oh, yeah, 50-1.
What do they make you pay for betting on a guy like Louis these days? You don't even know if he golfs anymore.
Louis is 30-1. He still garners the respect of the field.
As he should.
Harold Varner's 90-1. I'd like to see him come back to the PGA Tour. I miss Harold Varner.
Yeah, what sort of well, maybe for Harold, they,
No, they make him go, but they probably do what they're doing to Reed, right? You have to, you can't come back right away. You have to go play on the DP World Tour.
Reed's happy to do it.
Yeah, Reed's like, just let me play every week. It'll be fine. He's basically
Ballister.
white Sunjay.
Ballister for me. I don't mind your Surratt call. It feel like I'm almost. It's like sort of the same wave and getting 20 more points.
Not going with your main man, Will Sasso. First start on LIV.
A young guy probably enjoys the lights. Richard T. Lee, 100-1.
Oh, the general. Man, he's somehow Richard T. Lee has better odds to win this tournament than Jason Kokrak does.
It's crazy how one team can have like 4 of the 5 worst players on LIV, and that doesn't even include people you've never heard of.
It's true. Ian Poulter's 450-1.
The whole Majestics, Horsfield, Westwood, Poulter,
McDowell.
They're not on Majestic under 200-1.
Wait, what team is Keimer on then?
He's on the Cleeks, isn't he?
Oh, is he? He's on Cleeks GC?
He's on Cleeks. And they're gonna tell me the Majestics are worth $1 billion.
The buy your piece of a live team discussion is the most outrageous thing I've ever. I remember when Cust brought it up at the time. I'm like, man, I bet you they're worth a ton of money. I'm convinced they're worth $0.
Yeah. I mean, but even Cust, he like, look, they signed Rolex.
Oh,
and
that
it's
was
just a thing for them to, it's a hospitality tent at events.
It was the big. I get why Liv did it to throw it out like, hey, we got Rolexes. And listen, Cust read a headline and he thinks that Rolex is like the title sponsor of Liv now. Basically, the way it was framed is that if you buy a Rolex in the South Korean tournament, you can meet Danny Lee or something.
Yeah, you get to watch, this 15th hole from a great tent. I don't know. I remember last year these weren't even on Fox yet.
No, I think it's a bit later in the year that they do Fox. You can watch it.
Kind of annoyed because like night golf, I think is something like randoms would watch.
Yeah, but the problem is the night golf is on when the other golf is on here because it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
It's like the Royal Rumble. Gotta say, I tried to watch the Royal Rumble for a bit this weekend. Didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
and I get that, like, expand the product, bring it overseas. God knows what they paid to have the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. But part of the fun of wrestling, not that I'm a huge like wrestling guy anymore, is like the crowd getting fired up, which they were not.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it. And that's like, I used to really love it. Not even too long ago. So for me to be completely like zonked out, it's just a little where I am in life, I guess.
Well, it's weird too, because even after getting out of wrestling, I still really enjoyed, I would get together and watch the Royal Rumble with people. I would watch it over WrestleMania because of the structure of the Royal Rumble. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You can bet on it. It's fun.
But also here's the thing, the charm of the Royal Rumble in our like second phase of life was the old timers. Now the old timers are guys like we're not even like too familiar with. Like they're not even our old timers anymore.
I suppose all of our old timers are like 70 years old now.
Yeah, like like they can't make those. The guys that we would want to see don't make the appearances anymore. And it's like the generation now is sort of coming back of the guys we didn't even watch, but whatever. Normally like you, it's good popcorn TV, the Rumble. I didn't even really know it was happening.
Well, the Rumble is probably the best wrestling event for any lapsed fan because you don't need to know any storylines or anything. It's 30 dudes, then 30 women come in and have 2 hour-long matches. Perfect. I haven't seen a WrestleMania in years. The last time I saw a WrestleMania, I think, is when Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker, and I won a bunch of money off of Sean McCormick at the Fantasy Studios.
Yeah, no.
I think you're good.
Nothing else wrestling.
I think that's it. You go film your show with Pizzola. We'll reconvene here later, and we will talk about the Super Bowl. We'll do some Judge Cust, a final Cust.
I'm gonna hit our time hard today because I'm not seeing Pizzola today. I had to get out of that.
Oh, why?
No, everything's fine. I just
you hate Pizzola now, huh? He got into he's stealing your bit, getting into fights online with people.
Oh my God, I don't know what he's up. Yeah, I'm telling you. I think I was trying to tell Paul for a couple years on the back end. Pizzola needs a rivals list.
Yeah, but we don't know any of these people.
You're right.
They're like random people who take like it's just at least with you and your feuds with online people, they're either like crazy people or like actual like Brandon Staley's brother, which is a hilarious one. Rob is just getting
actually a feud, but yes, noted. I'll have to pay the price for that. Yeah.
Rob is getting into fights with just like himself, people who take themselves really seriously about betting. Like, calm down. It's fine.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. That's okay. You'll hash it out with them this week.
Oh yeah, it'll be the season finale of the Best Bet Show with me, Rob, and Cam. So we got to figure out something to do. Maybe it'll just be Raz. We can Raz Rob. Maybe that will be a segment like really dive into because obviously Cam knows none of this, right? So
yeah, Cam doesn't know any of it, and it's hard to it's hard for Cam to like pick up on it's hard for you to 2-on-1 Rob in a way where it's like very easy to 2-on-1 Cam. And I don't mean actually, but I think you get what I'm saying in terms of like trying to make it funny.
Well, just reading out the exchanges between Rob and these people to Cam. What the fuck are you doing?
You know what?
Like, what are you doing with your time? That's rich coming from Cam.
Yeah.
All right. I will see you then at G Fienberg 17. He'll tweet out his entire card once he decides what he wants to do for the week. Mine will be in the newsletter. I'll also reveal them on the show on Wednesday. Plus, we have the DraftKings show and full picks on Tuesday as well. Please stay tuned to the Pat Mayo Experience. Rate and review, get in that draw, sub to the channel, smash the like while you are here. All right. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!